I now recognize Ranking Member Hoyle for her opening statement.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good afternoon, and I appreciate the opportunity to discuss these bills today. Several proposals before us address real challenges in wildlife conservation. H.R. 4294 tackles the invasive blue catfish harming the Chesapeake Bay. H.R. 3831 extends Florida's shark feeding ban to federal waters. H.R. 3706, the Sushi Act, improves detection of illegal fish that hurt our domestic industry, but I have serious concerns about some of the other bills here today. H.R. 4033, the sturgeon bill, claims to help a small handful of domestic caviar producers who may have some ESA-listed sturgeon on hand, but the major winners from this bill are the largest caviar producers in the world from China, which accounts for over 50% of imports in the U.S., and Russia to a smaller extent, who have spent years lobbying for more access to U.S. markets for the caviar they produce from ESA-listed fish. Right now, that caviar is banned from the U.S., but this bill would allow them to import it with little oversight. This bill undermines conservation and undercuts U.S. producers who follow the rules. I also have serious concerns about H.R. 180, the Endangered Species Transparency Bill. As written, this bill would cherry-pick the science to benefit special interest groups and sanction a complete violation of our environment. What concerns me most are the bills that are leading to the majority's plans to gut and shred the Marine Mammal Protection Act. The MMPA has protected whales and dolphins for over 50 years. No marine mammal species has gone extinct in the U.S. waters since it passed, and that's remarkable. With their new proposals, instead of directly shredding these protections, they're tinkering around the edges, hoping we wouldn't notice. So let's take stock of what's proposed. Waiving MMPA requirements, waiving ESA consultations, and gutting agency funding so that we have science to rely on. These proposals make it easier to harass and kill vulnerable marine mammal populations. These are our dolphins, our manatees, our whales, who we love and want the next generation to be able to see too. For example, there are just 73 remaining southern resident killer whales who frequently visit us off the coast of Oregon. Behind me, you can see a photo of the youngest members of one of these pods. This calf was first seen in April, and earlier this month, researchers confirmed that she's a girl. This is an exciting step towards one day fully recovering this iconic species. But this bill would set us back. It limits common sense measures that have helped push the U.S. Navy and shipping companies to develop ways to avoid harassing orcas, like the one behind me. The president's budget also drastically cuts agency resources to do MMPA and ESA reviews. You can't expect more work from less funding. This isn't a reform or a reauthorization. This is opening the door to the harassment and murder of our marine wildlife. I'm open for a case-by-case review of MMPA requirements. If anybody wants to talk about California sea lions and their effect on salmon on the Columbia River, I will happily work with anyone. But wholesale ignoring these protections is the wrong way forward. As we prepared for this hearing, we heard from whale watch groups, tribes, fishers, our next generation of scientists, and others, all who were alarmed by the ways this bill puts iconic wildlife, tourism, fisheries, and jobs at risk. These stakeholders depend on healthy, living wildlife to support their economies and opportunities for their kids and grandkids. Our responsibility is to leave future generations a world where both people and wildlife can thrive, and I am willing to work across the aisle on reasonable improvements to our current system anytime. But we cannot undo decades of progress. And with that, thank you, and I yield back.